Guys, what's going on, man? It's your boy George, back with another video of mine. Hope it's doing well and taking care of themselves. Much love to all of you. So if you didn't watch part one, I was basically talking about being alone and the difference between solitude and feeling lonely from emotional, mental and physical state. But today I'm going to be talking about enlightenment and how to achieve enlightenment and how to gather knowledge when you're by yourself, because obviously society have made it out like the only way to gather knowledge is by turning to other people, whether that's teachers, people from higher position, books, news, any outlet on the outside world. But little did I know, when I went within myself and I was alone and had no other influence around me, I learned the most about myself and the world around me. So today I'm going to be talking about how to gather information when you're on your ones, aka when you're by yourself. Now, when we talk about enlightenment, right, when you break down the word enlightenment, yeah, so you got en and then light and then you got ment. Now anytime you're talking about light, you're talking about knowledge, you're talking about knowing, you're talking about growth, you're talking about information. Anytime there's a word that has ment, like mentality, you're talking about the mind, the mental. So light dealing with information, right? Anytime you fill your mind with false information, toxic belief systems, things to control you in a negative way, that makes your mind dull and puts your mind in a dark place. Just like if you was to put a plant in darkness, it's not going to grow, right? Just like your mind. Sometimes the information that we're holding on to, all these belief systems that don't serve a purpose to us, is actually stopping us from seeing the light. It's actually blocking us from seeing the truth and expanding our mind. Because when you put a plant in sun, it grows, just like your mind. When you enlighten yourself and you free yourself from belief systems, influence, outer influence, and you know things for yourself, once you're free from toxic belief systems and you can think for yourself, this is when your mind can expand. This is when you can have an open mind. But some find it very hard to liberate themselves from the lies that they've been taught, and depending on how long you've been indulging in certain belief systems and information, it can be very hard to get out of what you've been indulging in for how many months, how many years. And the thing is, a lot of people have become comfortable lying in their own lies, as in all they see is the illusion and the false knowledge that has been influencing them for all these years. And it's very hard to adjust and change your life, because a lot of people have already made excuses for believing in what they believe in. So some people have got a closed mind and all they see is that world that they're in. So you can't change people. You can't forcefully go out there and say, okay, you need to change your ways, because you're in no position to do that. Everyone has to go through what they go through to learn something at the end of the day. For me, I remember when I used to be heavily involved in certain groups and belief systems, you know what I mean? Anytime something's in a system, it's heavily controlled, you know what I mean? So you have to be very careful what system you put yourself in. For me, to gather true freedom is to be in no system, you know what I mean? But I remember when I was in belief systems and stuff like that, and then I realized, when you realize, your real eye comes out, and I noticed that I'm not actually free. I'm not actually doing the things I want to do. So I let go of all of the influence, I let go of all the information that was taught to me, and I was now here by myself with no influence. And that's when I seen the light, quote unquote. Do you know what I mean? That's a very common quote that a lot of religious people and spiritual people use. Why do they use that? Light means information, you know? So all of this discovery, self-discovery, right, was done by myself. I let go of all them expectations and philosophies and systems by myself. No one told me, look, yeah, you got to do this, yeah, you got to let go. Nah, I literally came up with my own reason for why I need to get out of this. And once I did, I found myself. I was free, and now I can move the way I want to move, think the way I want to think. Do you know what I mean? So true enlightenment for me personally is when you let go of the old belief systems to make way for your mind to expand and grow, just like a plant. A plant can't grow without light, just like your mind, you know. Your mind can't grow if it's heavily filtered by false information. So enlightenment can also mean self-discovery, realization, knowledge, silence, knowing. All these things are associated with enlightenment. Now I'm going to tell you guys how I gathered knowledge now, because at the end of the day, if you're by yourself, there is no teacher, there is no influence. All you've got is yourself. So what did I do to become somewhat enlightened? Obviously you let go of certain information and stuff, but I trusted in my intuition, and I thought for myself. I questioned everything. I thought outside the box, and just going through experiences, because obviously experience is your biggest teacher. Trusting your intuition is like your guide. It's like your map and your GPS. You can't get lost when you follow your intuition. And the thing is, it's like the universe, your angels comes through to you through your intuition, you know. That's how I think of it anyway. And it takes some time, of course. It takes time to listen to your intuition, because like I said in my last video, we're not used to listening to our intuition. We're used to going off impulse, going off emotion, and listening to others for information, whether that's a teacher, whether that's a person on YouTube, books, you know. But when you're alone, all you've got is your intuition and faith. All you've got is yourself. You have to be self-sufficient, you know, when it comes to dealing with being by yourself, because it's not easy, but it's necessary when it comes to self-discovery and finding out who you really are, you know. But like I said, man, if you want me to make a part 2 on this subject, I can, you know, because obviously I can really break down from my opinion what enlightenment means, inner light men, you know. And to be honest with you guys, you need a light to see. If you're in the darkness, you need a light to see, you know. And the only way to gather enlightenment is to free yourself from all the false information that society might have told you in the past and stuff like that. And once you let go of the old, you bring in the new, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much all I got to say for part 2. In terms of enlightenment is probably a separate video, but when you're alone, you can still gather information, you know. All it takes is awareness. Like enlightenment's to do with awareness and consciousness. Observing. You can properly observe when you're not looking through one lens. An open mind can look through many, not just one lens. And a lot of people looking through one lens. When they've got a closed mind, a lot of people look through one lens. But how do they know that that one lens might be the one blinding them from seeing the truth, you know? And there's many lights out here. There's many information that people might put across to you, but not every light is the one for you. You know what I mean? That's why you have to discover your own light, you know, your inner light, enlightenment. You have to discover your own, because some people's information can blind you, really blind you. You know what I mean? So just be careful out here, guys, man. But that's my truth for this video. Take care of yourself. One love. Love you all. Peace.